accountability, how can we entrust the future of Ohio's children to such a system? The egregious instances of financial misconduct by charters, which have been called to public attention by the state auditor, only scratch the surface. Charter schools are a Wall Street growth industry. Bankers, investment, private equity funds favor charters because a guaranteed rate of return is underwritten by the state government. What a deal. For example, K-12 Incorporated, which operates the Ohio Virtual Academy, was put together by a junk bond dealer and a hedge fund banker. Private enterprise using public funds for private profit. The hazards of this can be seen in a Georgia charter school defaulting on $19 million in bonds after receiving issuance approval by a public authority. The electronic classroom of tomorrow, ECOT, has raked in over $1 billion in public funds in 15 years, over $100 million of which came from Ohio's public school districts. Its founder, William Logan, contributed $1.6 million through 2014. White Hat's online business required 409 school districts to pay $13.1 million in 2013 to 2014 alone, for a pathetic 22.8% graduation rate. Innovation Ohio has reported that in the totality of its operations, White Hat management has received well over $1 billion since 1999. Its founder, David Brennan, has contributed $4.5 million to political campaigns in this state through 2014. According to the Akron Beacon Journal, together, these two aforementioned systems had a dropout rate 45 times higher than traditional public schools. According to the Columbus Dispatch, in a recent court case, it was observed that ECOT claims, quote, it is entitled to receive more than $100 million in taxpayer funds for the 2015-2016 school year without substantiating they actually provided a single minute of education to a single student. In 2015, the Akron Beacon Journal reported on an Education Writers Association conference which identified White Hat management charters, the Ohio Virtual Academy, and ECOT as among the worst performing operations. No wonder an official of the Ohio Department of Education responsible for charters tried to cover up this bad performance by eliminating online charters from an evaluation system. And now, the charter industry wants the legislature to help it cover up the failures of its online schools with a cosmetic, arithmetic fix. Know Your Charter, a product of the Ohio Charter School Accountability Project, has reported, quote, more than half of the funds extracted from school districts go to charters, demonstrating lower performance. No surprise that the Akron Beacon Journal later reported that 2010 Ohio charter schools opened, failed, and closed. The idea behind charter schools allegedly is to improve the educational status of inner city children and to let state and local tax dollars follow the student. They do, right into the pockets of the charter profiteers, who have generally failed to improve educational outcomes in the inner city. Instead of addressing the symptoms of poor educational performance and wrongly blaming public schools, state government would be better advised to address the deeper issues of poverty, hunger, unemployment, social disorganization, lack of access to necessary medical, dental, and mental health care, lack of access to information technology, all of which can mire children and their families in permanent conditions of deprivation. There are social and economic reasons why average family income correlates closely with school district ratings. Charters spend millions of dollars on advertising and marketing for recruiting purposes, money which public schools are rightly forbidden to spend. Charters have been marked by high employee turnover, personnel shifted to other schools, administrators constantly change, and students shuttle from one school to another within the same charter system. This lack of stability is quite harmful to children, for whom structure is critical to an emotional climate which fosters learning. 80 public school boards of education have invoiced the state of Ohio for the recovery of monies taken away from their public school district and given to charters. I have a list here. I'm going to read some of them. These are the school districts that have sent the state a bill for charter schools based on the deductions that are occurring, taking money away, forcing them to go back to the millage. Woodbridge in Summit County, Logan in Hocking County, Troy in Miami County, Elyria in Lorain County, Parma in Cuyahoga County, West Claremont, Claremont County, Cardinal in Geauga County, Keystone in Lorain County, Northmont, Montgomery County, Jackson in Stark County. Those are just 10 of the list of over 80 districts that are hurt so badly by this funding scheme for charter schools that they're invoicing the state, essentially saying, give us back our money. And they're doing that on behalf of the taxpayers of their districts. If charter schools wish to receive public funds, they ought to have the permission of local school districts. Otherwise, these private entities should be privately funded. Now, nothing I say today should be construed to ignore the many challenges confronting public education in America and in this state today. But public education's financial base is being destroyed by private, for-profit corporate interests. It is vital to our state and to our nation that we put a stop to this practice of depleting public education funds and reclaim the historic role of public education, which has been to provide a means to lift up our children and our nation, to give us the knowledge of our rights and the intellectual skills to defend our rights. Nothing less than the survival of a free society depends on our efforts. The great advocate of public education, Horace Mann, who at one point lived in Yellow Springs, Ohio, said, quote, "Education, then, beyond all other devices of human origin, is the great equalizer of the conditions of men and women, the balance of wheel of the social machinery." It has been said of Horace Mann and his public educational philosophy, quote, "No one did more than he to establish in the minds of the American people the conception that education should be universal, non-sectarian, free, and that its aim should be social efficiency, civic virtue, and character, rather than mere learning or the advancement of education." What is our educational philosophy today? Let for-profit corporations exploit the mass of children by controlling the state government? Are we content with journeying from Horace Mann, who said, "The public school is the greatest discovery made by man," to control education by Wall Street, which would say charter school is the greatest discovery made by today's investors? Public education is a basic right in a democratic society. It is a basic right of all Ohioans. The 1851 Ohio Constitution is the original education charter. It requires, quote, "a thorough and efficient system of common schools throughout the state." The DeRolf decision affirmed that requirement. Charter schools are intrinsically private. Calling them public or community schools does not change that organic fact. It is time for Ohioans to demand that public education receives the full funding which DeRolf requires. Let us use our state and local resources to rebuild education in the public interest and to reclaim the sacred promise of government of the people, by the people, and for the people.